Hey, it's episode 771 of today's Antidote. It's Friday, which means discoveries of the week. We've been talking about course adjustments, what they mean, what they are, benefits, concerns. We're going to rock and roll into that even more today as we figure out what Tom and I have discovered this week. Figure out what you've discovered this week. Stay tuned because it's all coming up next on today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. There you go. Found it. I don't know what happened.
Oh, well, he went black again. Heavens, Bob's having some car issues in the car.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I'm with you. I feel like I'm going to be here for a couple minutes.
Okay, that's good. How are you doing today? Otherwise,
I'm good. I'm good. It was an early morning. It was a late evening. Doing some networking last night. Up early this morning, doing some more networking, which I really enjoy. It's funny. I'm probably like a lot of other people. I don't like networking until you get there, and then I really like it. Does that make sense? Like when I'm driving there or putting my clothes on or like, oh, I got to go to this networking thing. I do not enjoy it. But the minute I get there, I'm in the zone and really like it.
Cool. Well, that's good. Good that you're out doing that.
Yeah. So
I caught up in the bunker, just stuck there.
Yeah. Yep. So how are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. Each week we have a topic that we discuss. As Bob mentioned, this week's topic is course adjustment. And we've been talking about it all week. And today we're going to share our discoveries of the week. So as we go through that conversation, if you have thoughts or ideas or discoveries that you've made this week, thinking about adjusting your course or a course adjustment, we welcome you to share them because we know it'll add value to our show. And we know it'll add value to our show. And if you have other discoveries that you want to share that doesn't necessarily relate to the topic, that's okay as well. You can also go to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group and share them there. You'll have an opportunity to meet 1,200 other renegades who are trying to find and carve their own unique pathway to success and figure out how to take their next step. So maybe your discovery will be exactly what they are looking for. Before we dive into that conversation, though, each morning, Bob and I do our celebrations. So, Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I'm going to celebrate old friends. I went to a networking event last night, and someone I had not interacted with much over the last 7 or 8 years. He was running the event, and I went there and got a big bear hug and really had a fun moment reminiscing. And it was just nice to be around someone who just, it's nice to be respected. And sometimes you forget that you're respected by people.
I don't respect you? Are you saying
you respect me? But it's nice that some people from way back respect you.
Got it.
Because we evolve and change over time.
Yes, we do. Time does change results.
I've heard that.
Yeah, once or twice probably, right?
That's right. What about you? What are you celebrating?
So I'm going to celebrate that yesterday I did, I have a Facebook group for nonprofit leaders as well. And so I did a workshop, sort of my first workshop inside of that group on a little larger scale rather than just a short Facebook Live. And, I thought there were some, as I go back and think about it, the interesting thing is I could have got caught up on, I don't think there was anyone on live.
I take offense to that.
What's that? Well, you might have popped on for a little bit.
I did. I had another meeting that came up and I was kind of half watching you and half dealing with my meeting.
Yeah, so I could have focused on that. And I just kept plugging along. And what was fascinating about that is I think that I provided content that is valuable. I think that I might have done differently. I might not have done it as long. It was maybe a little bit longer than I might do in the future, maybe. And I've had at least a couple of people watch it since. One of the beauties of having it on Facebook is that they've watched it since and sent me comments about it, and so
Nice.
provided some feedback. So I think that was helpful as well. And right now, that's a growing group. There's 55 members, I think, and so I think it's an opportunity for me to continue to share my value with a different segment. It's a
How
little
can
more
someone
targeted.
access that, Tom? And what is it that they'd be accessing? Give us a little plug here.
Sure. So it is a Facebook group. It is called, Nonprofit Leaders Community. Just go to Facebook, search for Nonprofit Leader Community, and you can join us inside of that group where we're talking about sort of all things nonprofit. And in a different way than I think in other, I think where other nonprofit Facebook groups are mostly around people asking questions and trying to get feedback. This, I think, is going to be more about me sharing some value and then sort of generating ideas and topics and then others sharing their value around it as well. So if you are interested and you can't find it, shoot me a message and I'll give you the link. If not, just do a quick search and you can find it. And you could be in both the Ring of Renegades and Nonprofit Leaders Community. This is just a little more targeted on topics that are very specific to nonprofit organizations.
Nice. I love as we keep expanding the ways for people to access information that can help them achieve their goals.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so let's dive in. It is Friday, your favorite show of the week.
It is.
We talk about our discoveries of the week. So rather than having our one thing, our antidote, today we're going to share with you our discoveries of the week. So as we've talked about course adjustment all week, what are some of your discoveries of the week, Bob?
So my big discovery of the week actually was in a Facebook Live I did the other day where I was talking about how we like to go in a straight line from A to B and that it's really more sometimes circuitous and sometimes ziggy-zaggy. And as I was doing that, I realized how incredibly important it is to accept that we're going to go through course adjustments. It is part of the process, and I'm going through some course adjustments in various facets of my life, professional, personal, and I realized this week that that's normal. There's not going to be a day when you don't have a course adjustment. You are not going to go in and do the same thing you did yesterday ever. And I think accepting that has given me some comfort and some confidence to move forward on things, knowing that I don't know what I'm doing completely and no one else knows exactly what they're doing completely. And with that knowledge, it's just easier. It doesn't feel as daunting to take on the day.
Okay. So it's inevitable is what you're saying.
I think that's a good way to put it. Yes.
Okay. I like that.
But
I think that's
did I
interesting.
catch you off guard or?
No, it just is what I was thinking about what, one of my discoveries. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays after what you just said, your thoughts on it.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
So I think mine is, I think I would agree that we are unconsciously course adjusting all the time. I think there are also times when we make intentional course adjustments. Sometimes I think it is driven by emotion or results that we have received. And other times I think it is based on taking the opportunity to stop and learn from what's going on. I know that you can't see the chat.
I cannot.
It's probably good. I have no idea what is in there. Anyhow, I was trying to figure out how I could delete it and I can't figure that out. So I'm going to avoid it. So I think one of the things is my discovery of the week is that so often we go with the emotionally driven course adjustment. We get a result. It's not what we expected. And so we feel like we have to dramatically change or make any sort of course adjustment, however you might define the size of that. And I think those types of course adjustments can create more obstacles. Sometimes they can create more opportunities as well. Because I think we've missed the one big opportunity of course adjustments, which I think is the learning that went on before we decided to course adjust. And I guess my discovery of the week is I'm not sure I want to intentionally course adjust if I haven't previously taken the time to learn from past actions and really sort of understand, okay, well, what happened? Why did it happen? What now can I move forward? Ask the 3 questions. What went well? What didn't go as planned? What might I do differently? Exactly what I did after my workshop yesterday. And so, again, I could have made a quick course adjustment. 30 minutes into that, I'd be like, nobody's on here. I'm just going to get off and quit, and I'll delete it. To me, that would have been it would have been emotionally charged in a decision. You talked earlier this week about you're doing something and you got results that you weren't expecting, and you sort of tried to learn from them, and then you make some decisions. Although you also talked about the emotion that popped up and where you may have in other times completely bailed on what you were trying to do. And I think that's the missed opportunity, is to learn before we then go out and make an adjustment, and make the adjustment based on what we've learned, not the emotion that has come up from the results of what has happened.
I like it.
So how does that fall with your idea that it's almost inevitable that we're going to make course adjustments?
Well, I think it gets at the whole idea that you're getting at, which is we're going to have emotions. It's what we do with those emotions ultimately, right? And do we allow our emotions to control our decision making? Or do we say, okay, this is an emotion, it's in the moment, I need to separate the emotion from the situation, which is where I think, you and I help each other. That you especially help me because I'm prone to having emotion around things and making decisions based on that emotion. And you'll say, hey, hang on a second. What went well? What didn't go as planned? What might you do differently? And that really brings me back to, oh, okay, there's something here. I think it's good that we have the emotional response to things, because if you just did that thing yesterday and didn't have any emotion around the fact that there weren't 100 people on it, I would say, why are you bothering? Right? The things we care about bring out emotions. That's important. Right?
Yes, and I did it because I thought it would add value.
Mhm.
I actually have tried. So if I believe it has value, my feeling is I'm going to share it. And I try to very much emotionally detach myself from whatever results come, because I feel that leads us in a direction that is based on immediate results, not long-term results, and knowing that this is what happened in the moment, not that things couldn't change in the future. I think about what would have happened if I just deleted it. The couple of people who watched it and found value in it wouldn't have received it.
Right.
And then they would have missed an opportunity to maybe have an impact in what's happening for them. And so I think that there is emotion around it in completing the action and then figuring out what to do next. I try to not be overexcited or over disappointed or frustrated based on what happened. Because again, I think that's what leads us to getting stuck in, oh yeah, I have a lacrosse game tomorrow. I officiate girls and women's lacrosse, college Division I game. And I could walk away from that and feel like, oh my God, that went great. It's awesome. I never need to change anything, do whatever. When in reality, and not go back and watch film or see any clips that anybody says, because I don't need that. I did great. And, or vice versa. I walked on, oh man, these calls and if I got stuck in either of those, it's not going to help me in the next time I go out to do a game. If I can just say, hey, I did a game. Yeah, here are some things that I thought went well. Here are things that didn't go as planned, and here's what I might do differently. It allows me to then I think, move forward to the next game without this feeling of, oh my God, I'm the best official ever. Or on the other side, oh my God, I'm the worst official ever, or any sort of, smaller variation of that. It makes it a lot harder to go to the next game because you're already thinking about, I'm the best or I'm the worst, rather than just, hey, let it happen and let's see what happens throughout the game. And then I can go back and evaluate it afterwards, measure it afterwards. What do you think about that?
I like that. I like that.
Well, I'm going to show.
But it's not as easy as it looks.
No, and I would also say that as much as I try to temper that, I do have an immediate emotional reaction, as we all do. And then I try to say, okay, wait, this is a temporary result that could change. And rather than getting wrapped up in whatever the emotion is, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to celebrate that I completed the action. And I actually think sometimes that may be the catalyst that prevents me from letting my emotions take the best of me, is I just celebrate that I did this. So when I walk off the field tomorrow, I'm going to celebrate, okay, hey, the game was over. I got through it. Didn't get hurt. The game happened. Here's where I'm at. Rather than, oh my God, I missed that call. It was clear as day. How did I miss it? Everybody else saw it. And I'll just get in my head forever, or I'll be like, wow, that was the best game ever. I don't need to ever review what I do again. I've got this licked. And so I think that there's some value in tempering that initial emotion, because I think it is can be misleading.
We probably need to talk more about emotions and how they play a role.
Yeah, yes, there's no doubt about that. I'm going to share some comments because they had them in there. It might have come from earlier. Edward says, even in manufacturing and artists, I think that's a question around my discovery. Repetitive work or continue a project. Interesting. I wish I had pulled that up earlier in the middle of the conversation. And then Missy chimes in with patience. And I think there is, I think there's a patience. And I think it's I
struggle with patience. If it matters. And part of the challenge is being patient to me is, I don't even know how I describe it. It just forces me to take a back seat.
Well, the one thing it could do, and as I was thinking about this, thank you for sharing that, both Edward and Missy, with patience, as we talked a little bit about yesterday, is the patience to stick to the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And not let other things derail the plan unless you really clear the emotion away and move forward. We talked about that you've done all this, but not all this, a little bit of course adjusting, even though initially you said you were going to wait until the first Friday of each month to evaluate. And I think that's maybe where patience comes in, is to say, okay, I got a result, whatever it might look like. And I'm not going to get overwhelmed with what that result is, because I have not yet reached the point in my plan of where I was going to stop and evaluate, where I had given the plan a chance to develop and not overreacted to whatever results we may have gotten. You could look at the other way, is if you had gotten results that you thought were really positive, you could be, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. Why didn't I do this earlier? Now I have one person doing this. Let me spend more money and have 3 people now do this, and I'll get more lists. And again, I think that could be an overreaction, that, yeah, you got some early results that were in your favor, that you could dump into it without having more. And that might lead you down a very different path. Think of that.
I like it. I'm looking around because I'm supposed to be meeting some people at an event. I see no one here.
And it starts at 7:30.
Yeah.
A networking event at 7:30.
Yes.
You know what's happened? I mean, I don't know if this is impacting you, although it's not in your.
No, that's not here.
Yeah. So I'll chime in with Edward also said, tempering emotions is great. One should never drive emotionally. Remember that. So if you walk out of this, or if nobody ever shows up and you're really frustrated, Bob, that you got up early, drove all that way to go, and nobody's there, it got canceled, don't drive emotionally. Take a pause. And then Edward also,
it's all good.
Tempering deserves a bell ring. Oh, Bob is not
I
in
don't
a
have
place
a bell
with
to
his
ring.
bell ring. Ding, 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 ding. There you go, Edward. I'll give you that.
Thank you, Edward. That's great.
All right. Anything else you want to share with this, Bob?
No, I'm good. I've got to do some reconnaissance here.
Figure out what's going on out there.
Yeah, or what's not going on.
Maybe the person who invited you was like, I've always been looking to get back at that guy, Bob. Maybe I'll just send him on a wild goose chase to a networking event.
Maybe I'm on the south entrance and I need to be at the north one.
Oh, that could, you know what? Actually, I've noticed that at that event before, because I've been at that event and at that location, and that may be the case. Maybe.
Okay. Well, end the show so I can go find out.
All right. Well, you'll have to report back and let us know in the comments what happened. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being a part of our show today.
I will.
If you have some discoveries of the week, please feel free to share them in the comments or join us in our Ring of Renegades Facebook group where you can share them there. And we know that it'll add value to the show. And while you're sharing, you may just find the one thing that you're looking for to help you figure out how to take your next step along your own unique pathway to success. Thanks so much for being with us today. Go out and make it a great day.
Hey, have a great weekend, folks. And throughout it all, embrace the renegading you.
Yes. All right, everybody. Enjoy. We will see you soon. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.